Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the Daily Market Insight for Tuesday, the 7th of September. All right, coming into the Asian session, obviously no movements here on the major equity markets in North America, US holiday, and that's going to make it a very short week, as I was saying yesterday. Now, just keep an eye on a few things. There's a bit of if you keep an eye on the equity futures, keep an eye on the currencies, there's a little bit of dollar strength coming back into the market. I think it's more a bit of a lag with the US holiday than dollar buying. But, at some point, I was mentioning today that, the whole US, we're selling US dollars because they may not be tapering as soon as we thought. But then you think of all the other global economies, they're not even anywhere near that. So it's sort of like weird that we're selling dollars on the back of this, but that's the way it moves. So what have we got to look for today? Now, the markets haven't really connected with that North American holiday, right? So focus on what's just tangibly in front of you. The major focus will be the RBA cash rate decision. No change expected. Will they start to taper their asset purchases? I don't think so. I know it's a bit of a line ball decision down there between economists, but I think they're just making a bit of a market. I mean, half the place is in lockdown, so I can't see how they're going to taper if that's the case. So, but anyway, outside of that, I mean, I have said something like that before, and the Bank of Canada has done something weird, or the RBNZ. What you want to be looking for is just come back to your charts and see. I mean, we've got direction still on these pairs, but, we've got the momentum waning on the dollar block. Okay, you can see here too, the Aussie, it's just drifting sideways. As I said, there's no follow through effect because I think we need the North American session to be open, get some volume through the market, and then see where it is. The dollar index itself, as you can see, it's trading sideways here, back to levels pre-non-farm release, but still it's a sell and rallies back towards sort of 92.50. Okay. Now, when you are looking at where the opportunity is today, right, as I was saying, we're looking at the RBA. You can go to the RBA's page and get up some data there. Or even the smarter thing to do would be come back into your Aussie charts and piece together, have a look through here, look at the technicals and see what's going on there. Aussie Kiwi's just been drifting sideways for quite a while, but we've got a nice uptrend here in Aussie Yen, right? Really good trend line and cloud there to be utilizing. You've got Aussie Swiss, exactly the same. And then you got Euro, Aussie, Sterling, Aussie, and Aussie CAD, right? So we've got some trending markets here. The Aussie's been weak, right? In the weeks leading up, so the last week, we've seen the Aussie bounce back as we have Euro, Sterling, and Kiwi, right? They've enjoyed the weakness in the dollar. So we've got this build up, but you know what? There's a couple of weird things happening, which I could see if the lockdown situation in the major cities, say Melbourne, Sydney in particular, they continue, well, then it's got to be greater unemployment, lack of growth, et cetera, all those negative things that we like to sell currencies on have got to be around, right? So you would think I'll be focusing on pairs which sort of have unusual strength, Aussie Yen maybe, Aussie Swiss, and then you've got, Euro, Aussie, Sterling, Aussie. I mean, all these things are in play. Aussie CAD is sort of a fair way from sort of support level, so I'm not too interested, but there's a few pairs here that are worth a look. Now, as I said, I don't expect anything major out of the central bank, but as a trader, you always sort of learn to expect the unexpected. It's a very wise thing to do. So that's all we've got to look for at the moment. And if you're sort of struggling to get your head around that aspect, well, then just come back, revise what's coming out. We've got the some Eurozone numbers coming out as well, the ZOO numbers, some European GDP revised numbers and employment numbers. I don't see too much out of those, but then we will have coming into Wednesday, the Bank of Canada, then the Thursday, the ECB, plenty to play for. And with that US holiday or North American holiday, US, Canada, like the week hasn't really started yet, right? So don't lose your marbles. Look at, focus on what's in front of you. And as I was saying at the moment, that's the RBA, the Aussie dollar, Aussie crosses. That's your likely solution for a trading opportunity today in the Asian session. when you come through into the European session. Keep an eye on that zoo economic sentiment numbers, as well as the revised GDP and employment numbers out of the Eurozone, right? Not much out of the US just yet, but once the US North American session does start up or kick into gear, let's see what the equity markets are doing and see if that matches up with what the bonds are doing. And then we can start to piece together what the US dollar is going to be doing from there. All right, guys, have a good trade day. All the best. Cheerio.